Bigfoot, Yeti, Sasquatch. You've heard the stories, but which are fact and which are fiction? Only you can decide on Cryptic Encounters.
Alright, we rolling? We good to go? Okay. Alright, I'm going to tell you a little story. When I told my family, they didn't believe me, but I'm hoping that you'll listen to what I'm saying and you'll take it to heart. So, first off, I was hunting. It was a cold day. I got up real early. I like waking up with the sunrise and driving out there. And took my four-wheeler, and we were about, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And we went out to the tree, climbed up the tree, and set up my little stand. And I just put some seed out a few days ago. Got some corn on my field, so I was hoping maybe we'd see a deer or something. And so I was there, and I was looking out the field, and I heard a little rustling, and I figured maybe it's a hog. Thankfully, it ain't time for them to be breeding, so there ain't no mamas that gotta worry about nothing. But maybe I can get a little hog and have something for dinner and turn and look. And I'm telling you, it wasn't a hog. I can tell you that much. I don't know what it was. It was about 6 foot tall, something like that. One of them basketball player heights. You know what I mean? And I was like, what the hell is that thing? And I got on the radio, and I tried to radio in to my cousin who was in the trailer back home. He was cooking up breakfast for my family, He was like, what are you talking about? I don't see nothing. And, of course, he ain't going to see nothing because he's all at home, so I don't know why I said that. And I was like, no, you got to believe me, man. There's something weird out here. I took a better look at him, and I could see he had this lumbering gait, He was walking like he had heavy feet or something, and he was stomping around. And I said, should I shoot him? And my cousin came back to me. He's like, no, don't shoot him. We got to let him grow, get bigger. And I was like, yeah, that's a good point. We don't want to disturb maybe this ecosystem. I don't know where he fits in all this, And I was thinking, maybe I'll just scare him away. Maybe if I just shoot towards him and not hit him, maybe he'd get the message and he'd kind of run off. And I just thank the Lord. Thank the Lord I did not do that. I can tell you, he's a big boy. I looked at him. He had these big, beady eyes, you know what I mean? They're all black. Frankly, he looked like a devil. He looked like something maybe out of Revelations. Lord help me. I got down to one knee in my little stand there, and I had to move some of my snacks out of the way, and I just said, God, if you're up there, you know how good I've been. Yeah, I ain't perfect. I'm doing my best. I go to church most Sundays. I pray every day. I thank you for what you've done for me. Please help me out of this. And I laid there and just sat there with my eyes closed. I don't know how long. And by the time I opened up my eyes, he was gone. I don't know where he went. But I think the good Lord, he looked at him and said, hey, not today. Not today. I don't know what it was. So, I was out finishing up brunch with my friends, and it was a Sunday afternoon, and we were thinking, we just had a few cocktails, so why don't we go take a little hike? And so I was thinking, let's go, I don't know, not like Runyon Canyon or anything, but maybe up to Griffith. I haven't been in there for so long, and it is so cute whenever you see all those little kids and all these little tourists up there for the first time, and it is adorable. Anyways, so we went up to the mountain, right? So we were in the hills, and we were walking, and then all of a sudden, we hear this noise, right? And it was like, I don't know, we were like in the woods, and I thought it was just like maybe, I don't know, like a homeless person or whatever, but and then I started getting the smell because it smelled like one, and like, I don't know, it was really difficult to explain, and it's really hard for me to process, but there was this guy, and he was full on hairy.
like his whole body was just hair, and he was really tall. Maybe if he was shaved, he might be a little cute. He was that height, but with the hair and the smell, I did not like it. So what we did is we looked at him and we said, no, go away. We don't want you here. We don't accept you here. We don't have tolerance for this here. And he didn't listen, and he got mad. He started yelling. And that's when we thought, okay, we have to do something about this. Maybe call it the cops. I'm just saying, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to that canyon anymore. I'm not going up to Griffith anymore. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stay by the pool. I'm going to have a little drink and calm down and then just enjoy my day.
Hello, my name is Illinois Pondweed. I've been asked to share my experience with a Sasquatch last night. I don't consider myself a superstitious man, or a particularly erotic man, but what happened last night has led me to reconsider everything I thought I knew about both the world and myself. I was washing up the dishes round about dusk, maybe 8 p.m., and all of a sudden my dog started going crazy. I mean, the dogs go crazy for a lot of things, but I can usually tell if they're really concerned or not, based on how animated they get and for how long. This was like nothing I've seen before, just absolute pandemonium, wanting to get out the back door. Which is rare. They're generally reacting to the mailman or some such out front. I could see through my back window from the sink, and I was trying to get a look at what was setting them off. But in the failing light, I couldn't see much past the big bushes bordering the back deck. And after not being able to calm the dogs down for about a minute, I decided to go out and try to see if I could hear something setting them off. Immediately, when I closed the door behind me, dogs locked inside, of course, don't need any visits to the vet for scuffles with a possum or coyote. I could hear something crash around in one of the sort of dense brush areas around our big live oak tree. It was on the other side, though, and it didn't sound too big, so I started, carefully making my way around. As I was getting sort of halfway to being able to fully see behind that tree, in the brush, the crash started to sound a hell of a lot bigger. I stopped in my tracks, pulled out my phone for light, and in the short distance I could clearly see, that's when I saw it. I'm only sort of familiar with Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever you call it. So it took me a second to register what I was seeing. But even before I knew what I was seeing, I was scared. It's probably like innate to be scared of a 7-foot hulky fur beast or whatever. But there he was, holding a whole mass of muscadine grapevines he had been pulling out of the bush. When the light from my phone hit him, he dropped the vines. And that's when I got the second shock. Below his waist, maybe 10 feet away and now bathed in the white flash, was the largest penis I've ever seen. In real life for sure, but even in pornos or whatever. Furry too, like a giant caterpillar. And what was even scarier, soon as he saw me, I could see he was starting to get, engorged. That was easy to make out since it was hanging down to about 3/4 of his knee. Then I don't know I should even say this, but it looked like he was smiling? Maybe not, it was dark. But he didn't seem threatening. I didn't run immediately, and that's what I keep thinking about. Maybe it's just a shock, Had a big animal in my yard, and it actually being a goddamn Bigfoot. But I don't know. He took one step towards me, and I legged it for the house. Guess my fight or flight finally kicked in. The dogs were going even more berserk, and as I peered through the glass of the back door, I could see him out there, just, hanging it all out there. Staring at me. I looked down at my dog Caroline for just half a second, and when I looked back, he was gone. I didn't tell my wife. That's the other thing I keep thinking about. She got home about 15 minutes later, and we had just about the best, anyway. It's just brought up some confusing emotions, like, why didn't I run? Why did I spend so long looking at that curly caterpillar? Oh, I didn't mention that. It wasn't just long and furry, but corkscrew-shaped like a duck's. But just, I'm thinking, am I gay? Am I gay for Sasquatch? I don't need this, man. I got a whole life. And then this Bigfoot comes in. Cryptids exist for one thing. Gotta deal with that now. But also just rocks my whole identity and then he's gone, you know? Like, it would be weird to invite Sasquatch in the bedroom with me and my wife, right? I guess I'll never know. I doubt I'll see him again. But anyway, I'm glad I got to tell my story here, because I don't know who else to talk to. I did some Googling about what I saw, but most of what came up wasn't really helpful. More, in a titillating vein, if you know what I mean. Can't imagine telling anyone I know. I mean, I'm a goddamn deacon at my church. You think they're gonna accept both that cryptids exist and that I'm gay for 'em? I guess we'll see. Maybe I'll break down and tell my wife at some point. I mean, she did fucking chupacabra behind my back, so she should be cool about it.